Karibu and bienvenue to the Tikitibongo podcast, a unique space where we celebrate the fusion of Tanzanian and French culture. We wanted to create a platform where people could share their stories, challenge, and triumph in their own voice. My name is Helen. I'm the co-founder of Tikitibongo. I'm your host for today, and I'm excited to take you on a journey filled with engaging discussion, personal stories, and culture exploration. Joining me today, my three friends. Felicians, we're starting with you since you're in front of me. Can you talk about yourself a little bit more?
My name is Felician. As I've been introduced, I'm a friend to Helen, and I'm happy to be here to discuss in this amazing podcast.
Okay.
I hope we are going to enjoy it. We are going to learn. We are going to share. We are going to speak as friends.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next. Thomas.
Okay. It's a pleasure to be here with everybody, and I'm glad to be here with my friends and talk about something that's a rather interesting topic. My name is Thomas, as Helen has said, and I am a student here doing my master's in finance, and that's me.
Okay, and last but not least.
Thanks, Helen, for having me. My name is Ahmed, and I have been working here for 4 years. It's my pleasure to sit with you today and have this kind of discussion. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We have done a round table. I'm really excited about this topic, which is super relevant for many of us. Navigating the job market in France as Tanzanian. So whether you just came from Tanzania for your studies at university, or you have lived here, I'm really excited to hear about your experience and like how you navigated all the challenge in France. So we have here different background. What do you do right now? What do you study, Thomas? You said you were studying. What kind of studies you're doing?
So I am currently doing a master's in finance.
Okay. Yeah. Master's. Okay. Which specialization?
Investment banking.
Okay. And what have you studied here, Ahmed? Or
Yeah, I did master degrees in petroleums.
Okay.
Now, currently, I'm working in the same field of oil and gas.
Okay, but did you start university here or you started in Tanzania first?
No, I did my first degree in Algeria.
Okay.
And my second degree, which is master's in France.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But you had like high school in Tanzania?
Yes,
Okay.
I did.
Okay.
Zanzibar.
In Zanzibar. Okay. And what about you, Felician?
Okay. For the most part of my studies, I did my education in Tanzania.
Okay.
I came here for my second degree, and I came here doing master's in software engineering. So I studied in different cities. I started in Alsace, and then I finished my master's in Lyon. And after that, I entered into a job market, and as for the moment, I work as a consultant in software engineering.
Okay, good. Well, as for me, I've already told you my name, Helen. I was born in Tanzania, but came here in France at a young age, 9 years old. And since then, I stayed here. I studied in France. So sometimes my Swahili can be a little bit funny, but you're used to it. And I study economics, international business. And right now I'm working as a logistics and also a logistics company. Well, we are selling things and I have to, also as a buyer, it's logistic and buyers combined in a company. So as we all have like different backgrounds, it will be interesting to share like our views of friends, our different experience. First of all, maybe the language barrier. How did you cope with that and how did you get through it? France is such a different culture from Tanzania, like far away. I don't know if you guys had, maybe when you were in school, how did you know about friends? Because I remember we had some French lesson, like starting to learn some French. I don't know about you guys. Like,
Okay.
no, you didn't have like French course, like maybe. And for me, it was so weird. Like this language sounds like, you know, like I don't know. Like for me, they were talking weird, but it was funny and also like something beautiful. I don't know. For you, what's the first souvenir of Friends you have? Like when you heard about Friends?
Okay, as for me, the first souvenir that I had of French, it was like the most common word which is used in Tanzania, written in a lot of places. It was bon voyage. I didn't know.
Bon voyage. Okay.
I didn't know that it was French word. I knew like it was something fun to say, like I'm transitioning from like.
Did you think it was an English word?
I never thought. I just thought it was a fun word. I didn't know it was a French word.
Yeah.
So like just to tell more about my background, like I didn't go to those schools where people are taught different languages. We were just using Swahili and English. There was no extra language. So like the first time I got to hear about French word, it was about my brother who went to a secondary school where they had an option of taking French as a language. Okay. So there as well, when he came home, like he'll be just trying to show us like he can speak some extra language more than Swahili, more than English. So he would just tell us like the few different words. Like okay, the fun thing, it was like he told us what were you know, as you know, in Tanzania we listen to a lot to Congolese music.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
And
I was going to say.
he used to translate to us some of the French words which were used in that song. So like for example, there is this song like where a person will he'll say comment tu t'appelles.
Oh, I love that song.
Je m'appelle coupé. So that it was the first experience, and he told like, do you know what is he saying? Say like what is your name? And my name is coupé. So that's like the first experience that I had of French language.
Okay. For me, it's the same. Also, I had that song in mind playing, and I was feeling like so fancy, like I know some French words. But what about you, Ahmed? Like the first time maybe you heard a French word or French culture?
Apart from common words, for example, ça va, bonjour.
But how did you heard those?
No, I come from Zanzibar.
Yeah.
So that is so diverse. We receive a lot of tourism. It's like our big activity in Zanzibar is tourism. So the fact that we receive a lot of foreigners and we can hear some French words, bonjour, they can say something like that. So, but my first to have direct conversation with French people I had in Algeria for the first time. To be honest with you, the moment I arrived at the airport, it was like horrible because I don't, you know, when you arrive at the migration center, you have like a form you need to fill it. So there is Arabic and French. We don't understand anything. The only thing that saved me because there is Arabic. There is where the moment you say like prénom, or you say for example le nom. So it has Qaba'il. So I had to write something because I know some words in Arabic. That's the only thing that saved me. But later on, we did my first degree in French, so it was easier for me to copy the environment when I have arrived in France. So it's different.
So Arabic for you helped you?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Kind of.
I mean, okay. Thomas, I know your background is a little bit different. You were born in France, right?
Actually, no, I wasn't. I was born in Dar, but I just arrived here when I was very young. So I never really, for most of my life, it's been here. I mean, I spent over 15 years and a half here. Okay. So for me, I mean...
So you was the other way, like you had to learn more about your...
Yes, I mean, thankfully when I left, I had my Swahili and everything, and what my parents always did is that they made sure that, you know, as soon as I step inside the house, it's we're in Tanzania, we're not in France anymore. Okay. So I always kept it, but like, I think pretty much for me, seeing as I came here so young, learning French and being immersed in the French culture, I mean, it almost felt like second nature because I've been here for so long. So.
For me, when I arrived here in France so young, I had, of course, I was saying like learn a few words, but they were so useless when I came here. Like you cannot tell everybody bonjour, comment ça va? Like people here when I arrived were so like not social as Tanzanian. So I had to learn, and I remember when I learned one word was oui, and the other, of course, no, which is universal. But when I learned those two words, I was using them as a power. Every time when somebody was speaking to me in French, I was like, oui, no. Oui, no. For me, it was just like, okay, I don't know. But those only was the two words like, help me. Yes, you can talk. Yeah.
Just a question for you guys. You had the chance to arrive here during the early age.
Yeah.
So to cope with the environment, especially in class, what did you do? You have a special class to learn language, or what happened?
For me, I was in a special class for 6 months. Because when you're young, you learn quickly a language. It's easier than if you're an adult. But I had like 6 months where I was in a spatial class, and sometimes I was going to the level I was supposed to be, so I can hear more French. But at first was really like learning some French word. And then after those 6 months, I went directly to Sudu, but I had like 1 year late than others. Like at 8 years old, I was in. So the social things it was a little bit hard to cope with the French culture at first. So I don't know, but you were born here, so. But at the same time, you had like Tanzanian culture and French culture. So how did you mix both of them?
I mean, for me, it was just like I said before. It was so every single time I'd step outside of the house where we lived, it was basically I'm in France, I'm outside, I'm mingling with people, and I'm there in the culture, whatever. But in order to keep, or at least what my parents said, and I actually thank them for that, in order to keep the Tanzanian culture and to have a little bit of balance, well, you can't just have only one culture all the time that you're immersed in. As soon as I step back home, no get Kiswahili. Only Kiswahili. So we eat, we listen to music from back home, talking Swahili, we eat Tanzanian food. So that's how we, they kept the balance. When I'm out there, sure, go, learn, sport. When we come back, we gotta remember where we're from and keep our culture.
But for example, you guys, how fast forward when you arrived to France, now you had to cope with another social life, French social life. Like, how did the language, or maybe was there any barrier, like social code, maybe? How did you cope with that? How did you navigate through those social codes?
Okay. As for me, the difficulty that I had, it was like by nature I'm a talkative person, so I felt as if I was limited somehow, because it's like I couldn't speak as freely as I was speaking some other two languages that I had learned before, English and Swahili. So it was challenging during my school years first, and when it came to job market.
Okay, how was it challenge like for you? Because you're talkative, for example. Like, did you felt like your way of expressing was holding you back, or you were not comfortable enough in French, so that's why you're not?
It's not that I was not comfortable, because by nature I'm very confident, but it was like I never wanted to piss off some people, because it's like when it came to French language, there were a lot of rules which were going to be applied so that you can present your message the way you like. The first challenge that I had with French language, it was how to observe like social rules which were somehow linked to the language. Like when you are here in France, when you're speaking to a person, you need to speak in a polite form. You need to differentiate professional conversation with a normal conversation, and that's the thing that it doesn't exist at the same time in our Swahili culture. In English culture, we don't have that strong differentiation, differences between those two types of expressing yourself. So, like, I was limited because I was afraid, what if I'm going to address a person and that person is going to take me addressing him or her is me lacking respect of her? So like that was the first challenge that I had. So I couldn't speak freely, because each and every time I had to speak, I had to analyze what am I going to say, and
okay.
how should it be presented in such a way it becomes
You seek
acceptable.
further.
So that was the first challenge that I had to integrate the job market. I was so much scared about those phone calls. Like, if you know, after having applied to different companies, most of the recruiters, what they will do, they will contact the prospect employees with a phone call. And when it came to those phone calls, as you know, when you're hunting for a job, you'll be like someone in a panic mode. You'll be applying 7 to 10 jobs. And first of all, naturally, you'll be scared because you don't know who is going to contact you. And secondly, it's like that at the moment that person is going to contact you, is going to use the language that you are not that much comfortable.
Yeah.
So that it was a challenge to me, how could I show my competence? How could they meet a person who will be able to differentiate between my limiting languages and my competences?
The skills.
So first of all, wherever there was a call, I had to navigate different challenges.
Okay.
First of all, it was is this person going to judge me according to my CV? Is this person going to judge me according to my competences? Or is this person is going to just decide to focus on how I speak in French?
Okay.
And in French, is this person going to judge the content? Is this person going to judge my grammar? Is this person going to judge my pronunciation?
Yeah.
And
in France, they can be really critical about all those aspects you mentioned. What about you, Ahmed?
It's the same thing. It's the same thing, honestly. When it comes
First
to
of
the
all, before calling people, having those opportunities, were you not afraid about being
to be rejected.
yeah.
No,
Okay.
it's you know when you try to when you're at that stage of finding a job, first it's very hard things. So it arrives at the moment that you don't care anymore if you're gonna get a job or
Yeah.
not. So you take a phone call, you just respond the question they ask you, just to give them the answer. You don't lie. You talk with your CV. You study it. You take how many 5 to 7 years of your studies. You just represent your skills. I know it's hard. When it comes to language, it's such kind of barrier that we can hidden.
Okay.
That people know you that you are foreigners. The moment you speak, you have accent. You are not French.
Yeah.
But you can find the moment that you try to concise your skills, find a good word, respond technically. I think that's the most tips I used.
Okay. And did you have probably to lie to your CV? Not very.
No.
Maybe not lie. What about you? Did you have your CV? Do you have any problem?
Well, it depends in general because for the very first opportunity that I had over here, I just did my CV, sent it as it was, and things worked out for me. However, for the second time, for my second opportunity, I was lucky to have my professor who told me, well, you could probably improve it a little bit more. Use different. It's not lying, but use certain words that sit better on the CV that French people can pick up on, and then it'll actually make more sense.
Okay.
And so that's the kind of guidance I had. So once again, it wasn't really necessarily lying, but just using a different vocabulary instead to express what you want. And for me, obviously, seeing as I had spent quite a few years here, it wasn't really that much of a problem to have to express myself on the phone. Still, obviously, as anyone who's looking for a job, you still kind of deal with the pressures.
You still have to prepare yourself.
Yes, exactly.
Even if you speak properly French and
Yes,
stuff.
exactly. It's
Stuff you still have. For example, I remember when I was in high school and I had to prepare CVs for just a normal job. There is so much criteria. You have to pay attention. And then also discrimination because you're coming from another country. Some people are do you have French nationalities and some. I mean, there's so many barriers. So on the daily life, maybe even for French people, they have to face limitation. So I can understand. I mean, what you have done, Ahmed and Felician, was very impressive because you had to fight even more. For example, I remember when we professors were teaching us how to do CV, they were like, okay, so maybe you need to add this activity, maybe you need to do lie about this activity and say you, because if you want to apply for this job, maybe they're going to look about activities and you have to make it nice. Like, for example, if you're saying you're dancing, like, you cannot say you're dancing, you're doing like hip hop, maybe it can connotate from, you know, the hood, or maybe, you know, like you have to, you know, put it in a nice form, change your words, do this. And also the speaking, of course, the speaking also, it's, you have to be convincing in a short of time. I sometimes, like, for French people, it's hard. So I don't know how you guys made it. I mean, overcome that fear, but it's very impressive. I don't know how this, yeah.
Okay, as for me, like, I told myself I need to have a plan, because I said, like, naturally, I always prefer to just go with a natural flow, but I said, like, here now I'm in the different settings. Now I need to prepare myself. So what I told myself, what was I doing to cope with the situation? For each and every job that I had applied, I had prepared a special page where I had written each and everything that I wanted to know about the company. I had written also how I did a bit of comparison on the what was required by the job description and what I had and what I'd learned at school and in my previous experiences. So I had a very organized way of comparing my CVs and my job descriptions. I had prepared all those things. I had put them in order, and the one of the things that I did to prepare myself well, it was like doing a mocking interview to myself. I would try to put myself I would try to imagine myself as the person who was going to interview me, and I will ask a lot of questions. I will list those questions, and once I've listed those questions, I'll try to answer them, and I'll try to answer them in a way that I can hear myself. I'll even record myself to hear how do I answer those questions. And that is like it helped me, because like at the moment when I found myself before the human resource human resource like manager, like it sounded as if it was something familiar, because sometimes it only took like 1 or 2 questions that I had prepared to hear them from a human resource to know that, like, I know this. Like, I'm in a familiar environment.
Yeah, you prepared yourself.
I was trying to create a familiar environment, and when it came, and since I knew like I was limited when it comes to French language, I'd prepared the vocabularies which were more or less linked to the post, to the technology which was used, and the vocabulary which was used was also linked to the company culture, because as you know, a lot of companies, they have got more or less, how do we call it in English, motto, I don't know, values. I will try to put in my conversation with the human resource, I will try to use their own word in a way that it will be that. So like to be short, what I did, it was doing a lot of preparations and hear myself speaking.
Okay, that's how, actually that's a nice way, and very, like, that's how it should be done, because that's how also human resources recommend you to do. You should prepare yourself before the opportunity meets you, so when it meets you, you kind of feel ready and less intimidated by the situation. What about you, Ahmed? You wanted to say
Honestly,
something?
I have made very interesting issue. For example, during the interview, I've prepared myself everything in French. You know what I mean? I prepare like my introductions. I know everything what I'm supposed to say in interview, but it was in French. But when the recruiter saw my CV, it's like I can speak English. So some of them start asking me questions in English, especially technical. I was like, what is going on? But the moment she started, I remember it was like half of the interview went to English. I was like, go ahead, because maybe they thought I lied, but I didn't.
Yeah.
So I was like, go ahead, you don't test me on this.
Okay, in English? Sometimes they test you in English.
They test you.
Yeah,
because they say maybe you are lying.
But you know what? They're not really good in English, those people who are testing you. They can be, but once they hear your accent, when you speak properly English, like sometimes it's the accent.
We went almost to 30 minutes because that.
30 minutes, okay.
Yeah, because my field is oil and gas. Most of the people speak English.
Okay.
So that's those questions about technical. We go ahead, like, it's not just the 1 or 2 questions. It was like 5 questions, something like that.
Okay.
We're starting to open the files. I mean, interior. We go in details.
Okay. Now, I just find it interesting that you said that, of course, sometimes they might actually switch to English. But also, what's also true is that, at least in my experience and also experiences with my peers, it's that you could be in an international company, but so long as the office is in France, my friend, on that interview, they'll be like, hey, no. We're in France, so we're going to speak French. You're going to, like, I have a friend who once was going through an interview, and obviously he speaks French, he speaks English, but he feels a little bit more comfortable in English because that's what we studied in, and et cetera, et cetera. And so at some point he asked, like, hey, well, seeing as this is an international role, do you mind if I say some things in French? And the interviewer straight up told him, no, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You're in France. We're a French company. Sure, we have colleagues from all over the globe, but like, no. You're going to be working here. You better speak French.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
There's some French people are like that. They don't want to mix.
Yeah.
In reality, that can be very, as what Thomas has been saying, it's like, even in my own experience, I found like, even if you are in the international company, you always need to master French language. And in different aspects, because as you know, when you're at work, there is where you spend a lot of your time. Actually, you'll be arriving at work at
7 p.m. or
7 a.m. Sometimes you can stay there up to 6 p.m. So that's the place where you spend most of your time. So, and while you're at work, you won't only be doing work. You'll have to interact with your colleagues.
Yeah.
And some of your friends, like outside of work, they feel comfortable to speak the language which they have been speaking since they were born.
Yes.
So as long as you are in France, even at work, you need to master a certain level of French to feel as if you are a part of the community. It's going to help you even in your professional life, because a lot of things are discussed not in a professional format, like the small talks, like if we've gone out to take a coffee, and as you know, like French people like a lot of them like to smoke. So even when people are going down for a
break, maybe
like smoking break, those people will be speaking French.
Yeah.
So if you really need to know what is going on in your company, if you really need to learn more about your company, you will have to
interact.
To interact, you will have to learn French. Yeah. So like one thing which I would say, even if you are fluent in English, you always need French, because as much as you're in France, like it will always be useful.
It's true.
And another thing is going to help you, like I'm just going to give you an example on how sometimes it's very useful to speak in the language people understand the best. For example, I did my master's in French. Sometimes I find myself speaking with some colleagues or international companies or international correspondents who are speaking in English. But I find myself some technical terms, since I learned them in French. Even when I'm speaking to a person in English, the first thing that which comes into my mind to describe a certain technical term is going to come in French.
Yeah.
So like that's just to show you, like when you're in a professional format, even outside the workplace, when you're in France, you really need to understand both languages so that you can even adapt how you interact with the people in a way people are going to understand the best what you're saying. So if you feel that you're going to speak in English, but you know, like the majority of those people in the meeting that you are French people, sometimes you can try to use some technical French words which are in French, because like they are going to remind them. Those are the things that they learned at the les écoles, the universities. So it's easier. It's like it's going to help you to adapt more on your professional settings if you can jungle between the two languages.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, in France, they they like the language. So if they have maybe even one friend of mine told me like even if you speak English and they know you speak English, they're gonna force you to speak in French because they're very proud of their language. So I don't know about others country, but yes.
To be honest with you, learning French is something that it will open doors for you.
For sure.
So don't be on denial. You have to do it. If you see your future in France, learn French. 6 months to 1 year is enough for you to have a basic.
Yeah, it's true.
So don't be like English is enough for me. Try your best to learn French as long as you see opportunity in France. And which is true. For example, working here is different than working in Tanzania. For example, it has like working in France, their job is well protected. Law enforcement well engaged. Apart from that, they have contracts different from in Tanzania. Of course, Tanzania we work informally, but 75% of people in Tanzania working informal because they don't even have a contract. They like engagement. I don't know how to put that in words. For example, we have CDE. We have
different kind of contracts.
Of contracts. So French will open doors for you. Just to try to use these opportunities to work in France.
Okay.
Gain this is experiencing. You never know. You might use this experience in Tanzania.
And how do you cope with the French social life work? Because, for example, it can be different. There's some known unspoken rules in life in general in companies. For example, in companies where like someone was very outspoken and stuff, like it can seem as bad. I mean, there's kind of also some rules.
Yeah, no, that's true. Well, I think the easiest thing would be to observe and learn.
Yeah.
Once again, you're working in their setting, so you have to understand, okay, what are the norms? What is the do's and don'ts? Like you said, if you're too abrasive, too outspoken, too aggressive, the French aren't really like that.
It's true.
They're a little bit more, not necessarily reserved, but, they have their own way about going things. So, once again, you kind of like to agree again with what Felisa said. Knowing French, if you know French and you interact with them more, well, you pick up on those norms a little bit faster.
Yeah.
And even in speaking French, you'll understand how they speak, and we just integrate better, honestly.
Okay.
That's what I say.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
To add just on that, it's like I can just there are some cultures which are just both in French culture and also in Tanzanian culture. Like if you are going to arrive at a workplace, reach at your floor that you're working, naturally you're supposed to greet all of those people that you're going to meet in that floor, even if those people are not the part of your team. Like I think that's one kind of the culture which is shared both in Tanzania and in France. Like it is always seen as if it's rude just to cross without greeting a person. So that is like one of the things to pay attention. And also some
what do you mean about being close? I mean,
like if you're going just to meet the person in one floor,
okay.
In some other
just
countries,
to greet them.
It's always like you will interact with those people you're working with, those people who are in your team, those people that your functions at the company are somehow interconnected. But here in France, as long as you see a person in the same floor as you, the moment you meet that person, you need to greet that person.
Yeah, of course.
And it goes with all other rules. Like if you see a person is approaching the door, even if you are, I don't know, you're in a hurry, you should hold the door for the other person. And another thing are just those few essential words that in French that they should be spoken now and then and whenever it's necessary. It's like if a person has helped you with a thing, don't just say don't just take it right. Say merci. If you want to ask for
I think Tanzanian were nice, we're polite in general.
Yes, like I'm trying to express the things which are in both culture. It's like before asking for a thing, start with like s'il vous plaît, s'il te plaît. And another thing there is where like the games are going to change a bit depending on the industry where you are. For example, where I'm working as a consultant, and somehow it is seen as if you are trying to alienate a person, you are trying to distance a person when you use s'il vous plaît a lot, if it's your colleague. And now, like the word which before when I was at school, like when I was addressing those people who were recruiting me, I was using s'il vous plaît. But now when I'm with my colleagues, it changes. It goes to what? S'il te plaît. And you cannot just use lightly those words because
S'il te plaît meaning more personal. Yeah.
Like okay, it depends. S'il te plaît, it can mean like I know you, we can talk in a more relaxed conversation.
It's
but
true.
sometimes
Because
according to the person that you use, it can be used like you are disrespecting a person. You are taking like that person is.
Because in English it's you. You means personal and unpersonal, and in French we have vous et tu. That's what I say.
So like just to finish on my point, like what I was saying, there are those cultural norms that you should really try to observe. Like if you really need to create a personal link to a person to show like I know you're my colleague, we have been working together, like you can just switch to s'il te plaît. It shows like I'm not distancing you, I want to work with you. Like those few words, like that's like it's a culture, it's a working culture. We need to learn such small things. And also when it comes to the meetings, like French have got their own way of conducting their meetings. Like people do not like the meetings which are so much rushed to finish. They want each and every person should be heard. And sometimes I know those people are coming from English culture, American culture, they will want to just go straight to points. But no, when it comes to French culture, people need to explain things. And sometimes people use that to show that, okay, I have also understood, even if I have to repeat what you have said. But I have to say again to show that I'm like we have understood in the way that we have understood.
What I'm always saying is when you're in a meeting, you have to explain something as if that person have never heard about your stuff. So you're explaining it as if like you need to let that person know what you're doing. I mean, like that person doesn't work there. You have to explain them so they can get the sense. What do you want to add, Ahmed, about that?
Working environment in general, I can put that, like, for example, in our country, especially Tanzania, we are so kind and polite in such a way to integrate in the French culture is so easy.
It's true.
Even if like we have different sense of humor, but still we can copyright. Like, in very, like, you don't need a lot of time to copy them.
It's true.
Just be you. Be Tanzania guy. Don't show off like
that's really our strength, because the way we're so opening to people, and they feel free to come to us. And sometimes they talk with too much.
They talk too much, but we take it as a breath, and then we keep smiling. Because we are Tanzanians.
It's true.
But I think sometimes we can have conflicts when it comes to Tanzanian culture and French culture. Like one of the thing about Tanzanian culture is people hate criticism. And people do not like to be addressed, to be criticized directly. But here in France, when it comes to the meetings, as long as you know what you're going to, the way you are going to criticize the point of another person is for improving the solutions that you're going to put in place, it's always welcomed. And here, like I found it in France, and I admire this. It's like you can even be critical of the point of view of your boss, as long as you present your argument in the reasonable way. Like that's the thing, like it rarely happens in Tanzania. Tanzania, we are more or less on top-bottom discussions when it comes to meetings.
And we also have a hard time in Tanzanian people saying what's wrong. They're all going to be, no, I'm Nashida. Like, even at work, I mean, I don't know, they're more like, if there is a problem, they have a hard time expressing it.
No, I'm not gonna put it that way. I'm gonna say, like, you need to accept that the criticism you receive.
Not about criticism, about even if you, for example, you have a hard time, or maybe you there's something wrong maybe in the way you do things, or maybe for example, just if for example you're feeling cold and you want to, the window is open, but I feel like they're going to be reserved. Like they're not going to say like, please close the window. They're going to go through that cold. They're not going to talk about if there's something. Well, in French people, if there's something is wrong, maybe they don't feel comfortable, they're like, can we turn off the lights? Or can we close the window? Or maybe something like that.
We
I
are
don't
so
know.
humble. We can put that. We are so humble.
But that's not humble. You're sombering. You're so
I'm like, okay, it's fine. Okay, it's fine. Even you're
You're
crying.
only smiling, even within the
Yeah,
face,
it's
we're
true, it's
smiling.
true.
I don't know what you think about that.
No, I think it's actually very true, that point about how sometimes, in Tanzania we might be more quiet about things that might actually not be to our advantage, or maybe that might disturb us, whereas over here that's very true, and people know that as soon as there's something that displeases a French person, you'll hear about it. They won't they won't hold back. No, you'll hear about it, and they'll let you know. And that's something actually that I think it's commendable, of course, because
Tanzania will not let you know.
Yeah, exactly. And
something like
at the end of the day, we all need to communicate with each other, especially in a work setting. You know what I mean? So yeah, I agree.
So are you still feeling like an outsider now? Like now you have I don't know how many years in France. Are you feeling like you still have to learn things, or maybe have you felt like you understood now the French people?
I'm not gonna put that 100%. Like for real. Sometimes, no. Okay, we have a very friendly environment in my workplace. I can speak with them in anything. I can challenge my boss. That's the thing I'm so proud of.
Okay.
Yeah, because even Felicia was saying something like using s'il vous plaît, s'il te plaît.
Yeah.
I remember during that time, the first moment I was like, monsieur, something like that, using s'il vous plaît most of the time. So I feel like I was irritating my boss using that. It's like, why are you doing that?
Yeah.
Say s'il te plaît.
Yeah.
Even sometimes I'm
he wants
changing.
to create a closeness.
Yeah,
when you say vous,
I'm putting a barrier.
Yeah, we're not
that's the thing.
yeah.
So the working place environment, especially right now, I can challenge my boss. I can say something. For example, I say something. Say, no, you need to change this. We need to change. So it's so fun and cool. It gives me the opportunity to express myself. I know maybe I will not have this opportunity in Tanzania. Like Felicia say up, top and down. But in here we are kind of equal. We have this kind of they give
equal,
us
but not really equal.
It's not equal.
Yeah.
They give us opportunity to express. There is a different.
Future speaking. Free
The difference, the free of speech. Like
Free speech,
you can say something, then people take it as it is, not taking it as like have the power compared to you.
Yeah,
you need
it's
to
true.
follow. No, you can speak, you can challenge, and people will understand you. Sometimes, it's not 100% you integrate in the culture. You still feel it. You can go to that topic, like you can feel like you are exterior. Sometimes they use the words like I can say norms. They use that. It's like, what does it mean? You see? Yeah, I mean, it's like idioms or norms. They use very complicated language. Sometimes they use the direct language. You say no, they use very complicated language. You say, what does it mean? Sometimes I follow my boss. I was like, what does it mean? You say this word, what does it mean? I didn't understand.
Okay.
So he explained to me, and that put you in position to learn more about their culture.
Yeah.
You don't have to feel like, I don't know what he say, but I'm not gonna ask. Don't feel that. You are not French.
Yeah.
You at the end of the day, you are Tanzanian. You'll stay here like a foreigner, and you have to learn it.
It's true. What about you?
Okay, as for me, I think now I understand more the culture. I think now I can navigate a little bit in a smooth way when it comes to my working environment. Now I do remember to bring croissant when it's
Very important. They noticed that.
Yes.
Yes.
When I have to bring. And the thing which I find about human beings, as the way we are resilient, we can adapt to different situations. I've learned how to adapt, how to make those norms which are found there to be my norm, as long as they go with my own personal beliefs, with my own personal morals. So what I focus most is say, okay, I'm not going to try to lose myself while trying to integrate, but I will try as much as possible to make even my colleagues, everyone at work, to feel like I'm with you guys, you are with me, we are going to work as one family. Even if they say at work those people are your colleagues, they are not your family, but I'm trying as much as possible to show that I'm not here to remove anything from your norms, from your culture, from the way you have been working. If I have to do anything, I'm here just to try to enhance. And that is what I always try to do each and every day when I wake up. Try to add something and to take something which is valuable without losing myself.
It's
and that's like the feeling that I have. Like I feel I have adapted, but I have adapted up to the level which does not go into conflicts with
corrupt yourself,
with,
maybe.
with my my personal philosophy, the way I think.
It's true. Like that's important. That's something really important. Because otherwise it will show. Because if you corrupt yourself, like you'll not be natural, and it will show. And people are quick, like they can see like your weakness and strength. So just have to be yourself. Also like adapting, of course. What about you, Thomas? Like knowing the French culture for a long time, like do you feel like you do you feel like an outsider, or maybe?
It's it's always been interesting for me because I think I've always been raised with, okay, sure, although you're living in France, you're still a Tanzanian first.
Yeah.
Whatever anyone says, your passport's Tanzanian, you look Tanzanian, you have everything about you is Tanzanian, even though you have these different experiences. So whenever I'm here, I think it's gone to the point where I never actually lose that sense of identity as a Tanzanian. Sure, maybe I didn't necessarily spend majority of my time there, but that's always been something about me. So I know the French culture a lot and I've adapted to it, but I wouldn't consider myself, I'm 100% fully French. So it's like, it's weird. I'm not really an outsider, but because I know as you said, I'm used to it, but I wouldn't say that I'm 100% French and I'm one of them. You know what I mean? It's kind of like in between.
It's true. For me, it's the same. I'll join you on that. Like, I don't feel, even though now I know there's a different kind of French people, but I feel like sometimes, they still see you like a foreign person, even though you speak properly, if you know the vocabulary. They still, like, for example, one day we were having lunch with all the colleagues, and someone said, in restaurant in Africa, do you put yourself in sun, like on the sun, or you put yourself like under a shadow? I was like, okay. So in my head, I'm not speaking for all Africans. I'm speaking from my point of view of Tanzanian. So I'm like, no, in a restaurant, we don't put ourselves like, like some French people, maybe tourists, when they're going to sunny countries, they like to take a sunbath, and sit on the sun. And us, we like more like the shadow, like being a nice place. And they were asking me if we do this in Africa. So I was like, Africa is not really my perspective. I mean, the way I'm going to answer it, but more of my personal views and background in my country, which is in Tanzania. But and there's also sometimes some kind of discrimination. So even though I get them, like there is so many layers. So I don't feel like fully French also,
Yeah.
Okay, so guys, the discussion was very interesting, and I'm sure we can talk more about this topic, and there will be more to talk about it. But before I let you guys go, I had one final question, maybe like what kind of advice you wish someone told you about the labor in France? Told you before. You wish you knew before getting to this work environment. As for me, probably have faced a lot of challenge, probably just being comfortable enough to speak about things maybe that were inconvenient. I found it first challenging to find my place in the work area, to what we just discussed, maybe when something was wrong, or to own my space, because at the end, like, we all have the work area, it's welcoming, so I should have maybe taken more my space and be more like confident on that place. Maybe just someone like that. Okay, you can say it's fine if you have a critical idea. You're not gonna diss the manager. It's just fine to talk about it,
I definitely agree, because even for myself too, I think at least for my very first experience here, I don't know, I just think it's simply because I thought myself as a little bit different.
Yeah.
So when you tell yourself that, oh, you're a little bit different, then it's a little bit difficult.
I think that comes also from our culture where we don't want to, upset the other person out of respect. So I found myself maybe also like not saying words out of respect while they're asking me to say, and I'm like,
exactly,
no, thank you. That, I don't know.
Definitely be more free for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, be free, a wild card over here and just doing whatever. Like, no. Be free responsibly. But yeah, don't be afraid to take your space. I think that you probably said it well.
Okay. What about you guys?
Okay. As for me, one of the things that I would advise a person, I would say, like, I wish I learned more. It's just being humble does not mean to hide what you know.
Yeah.
It's like
meaning
like when you're at a workplace, we as Tanzanians tend to be humble, and we tend to minimize what we have done. We don't speak much. We think like, if I'm going to tell that I have done this and this, I have been helping this and this, I'll be seen as if I'm a boastful man. I want to praise myself. But actually at workplace, you can be humble, but you can own your success.
Yeah.
You can speak about your success. You can share. You can show like, this is my work. I'm the one who did it. And how did they do this? You need to promote yourself. You need to speak about yourself.
That's very important. Promote yourself.
You need to be bold.
And don't take only one advice, and also in the company, because the HR can tell you something, but when you talk to the manager, sometimes they can also give you more advice on how to do it, because
It's true.
So,
yeah. What about you, Ahmed?
No, is actually what he's saying, Feli, is really good, because you need to concise what you do, what you did, something like that, because it gives you first, it's not only confidence, but it gives you the opportunity to see people, what did you do exactly? You not do like, I finished this work. No, you say, I take how many hours? I start this step, doing the second step, the third step, no, I've added to this answer. So that's the thing, especially I think what you mean, right?
yes, exactly. Like, show why did you do the work that you did?
Oh, yeah.
What value is it going to bring? Which kind of challenge did it address? It's just, you shouldn't just be simple, say like, I finished that work. You need just to give the elements. You need to speak about yourself. That's the one thing which is going to help you to what you are doing. First of all, if you're going to express what you have done in a concise and in a meaningful way, showing the challenges that you addressed, the work that you had to put, and what are the results that you are going to have, that's the thing which is going to help you to get a raise, and then be given more responsibilities. So that's the thing, like, as much as I would like to advise most of us Tanzanians, we tend to be too much humble. We forget to speak more about ourselves. We forget to promote ourselves. We forget to show what are we capable of. And sometimes we end up being forgotten. And sometimes while we are forgotten, we may think we are being discriminated. But it might be like we don't know how to market ourselves in the best way. Be humble, but being humble does not mean you shouldn't celebrate your success.
That's a nice way to conclude. Be humble and don't forget to celebrate your success. Well, I don't know. Maybe if anyone wants to add anything else, or maybe advice on CV also. That's very important. How to do. You had people not maybe help you to do a proper CV. No.
Good.
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say. Well, first of all, on the last thing, one person told me, as a word of advice, just to continue on what Felicia was saying, be as bold as your French colleagues. Because when you do that, you're speaking their language. They'll understand you. So there's that.
Okay.
And for the CVs, I would say definitely reach out to people who have been there before or in the same industry, because CVs don't look alike. You could be in the finance industry, they look a certain way, it's very standardized and whatnot. You could be in another industry.
And don't be afraid to go and search for people on LinkedIn and DM them like you're looking for an opportunity.
Absolutely.
And explain them, send them a message on LinkedIn.
Yeah, and if you're studying here, really use your alumni network as well too.
Yeah. Did you want to add something, Ahmed?
Maybe I can add some. For example, for those who want to to arrive here in France as a students, they can use the opportunity. Not use. Their professor asked for the advice, or they can send them the CV and edit it.
Okay.
I know some stuff, something like that. they can help them.
Actually, there is a special service at the
University, yeah,
which is
exactly.
dedicated on reviewing the CVs of the
Yeah, the career
students,
services.
and they'll be giving you a lot of advices, and they can reread your CV. They can connect you to companies which are looking for candidates. Try to learn more of what is available in your ecosystem, what is available in your surrounding.
Yeah.
And a lot of the universities, Les Écoles and Grandes Écoles, they have got those services which will help you. Try to use what you have.
That's yeah.
Yeah, and most of the university, especially in France, they have like a department of foreigners, so they give you a lot of information.
It's true.
It's better to go there and ask for it.
Okay, so don't forget
Don't
to be
hesitate.
bold, creative, and go. You've already complete like a lot by going to another country, and work for yourself and do more for yourself. So don't forget, don't hesitate, don't be shy. I mean, you can make it. We made it, kinda, but we were still managing in France. So I hope like you learn a little bit more about the French labor market. As we wrap up today's episode, we hope you have enjoyed this journey connecting Tanzania and France. Whether it was through stories, insight, or shared experience, our goal is to continue building bridge and celebrating the richness of both cultures. Thank you for joining us on the Tikitibongo podcast. Don't forget to subscribe and share with your friends so we can keep this vibrant conversation going. Until next time, kwaheri and au revoir.